Well, anyone hoping to wake up knowing who won the White House is still waiting. This election is turning to be much closer than many were anticipating. Joining us this morning is Avis Jones-DeWeaver, editor-in-chief at Max Black Politics, and Anita McBride. She's a former chief of staff to First Lady Laura Bush. Thank you both for being back with us again this morning. For both of you, I'm curious to know, what was the biggest surprise of the night? What are you watching for this morning? Avis, I'll start with you.
Sure. So this was, it's a nail biter. I mean, but it is 2020, right? So it is in keeping with the rest of the year. Okay. So the biggest surprise for me last night was the degree to which we saw this really, really super tight race that was a nail biter and still is a nail biter. Now, in a way, that's not that surprising. We are a very strongly divided nation, and we know that we still have millions of ballots that have to be counted because there are some states that are really just now beginning to start counting those mail-in ballots. So we knew that there was this possibility of this red mirage, but I think that the day of turnout was probably higher than a lot of people expected because we did get so many people who voted in advance. And so I think just the degree to which we've had so many people turn out, engage around this electorate at this particular moment in time might have been a surprise for people, and people are still sort of sitting on things.
And Anita, how about you? What was the biggest surprise of the night for you?
Well, one of the great things that was a good surprise is how far we've come with a state like Florida that's now a model for vote counting. It was the hot seat and ground zero for all the problems in counting votes in 2000 in Bush v. Gore. And now they have done a great job of counting ballots that have come in ahead of time, being ready to make a call on election night. So I think they can be a model for other states on what they have done right. So that's a good news. I think that also I agree the numbers that came out on election day as well. It just continues to astound you, and it was a great sign of just a very energized electorate.
Energized, but we still don't have a definite decision yet.
Right.
Overnight, we saw President Trump claim that as far as he's concerned, that this is a win. He sent out a tweet around midnight saying that the election is being stolen. That has since been taken down, and Twitter has put up a warning and then a link to the electoral process website. Is this rhetoric from the president any indication of what's to come?
Are you asking me first?
Let's hear from Anita first.
Sure.
He never should have said that. That's it for the president of the United States to call into question legitimate votes by American citizens who are trying to have their vote counted. We have been telling people for months, to get out and vote. Both candidates have worked their hearts out to do that. He shouldn't have done that. That was a bridge too far and a line that was crossed that calls into question, the democratic process. Those votes, if those ballots were received at least by midnight on election night, and those states have a process to count them for the next however long it takes to do it, those are legitimate votes. And if there needs to be a monitoring process so that everyone can feel confident about it, that's fine. But he was wrong to do that.
What would the repercussions of that be? I mean, he's in the White House. He's already said it. And people are frustrated. He's saying right now, stop counting.
They need to keep counting.
Avis, go ahead.
Exactly. So I'm sorry. I was just saying that, I could say today that I am the queen of the Ashanti Kingdom, and that would not make me the queen of the Ashanti Kingdom. Right?
Right.
So, the bottom line is this is still a democracy, and every person, I don't care who you voted for, has the right to have their vote counted. And I'm going to shock Anita today to say that I agree exactly with what she said a few minutes ago.
Totally.
With what he was talking about in terms of Florida's methodology, okay? I agree that it makes sense to work a system into place where you are counting at least the bulk of your votes before Election Day. What's happened, for example, what we're going to be waiting on with Pennsylvania, that'll probably be the biggest state that we're waiting on right now, and probably will have to wait the longest given the volume of votes that have to be counted there. There was a little fight about that, okay? So it's my understanding that the Democrats in their legislature actually wanted to do that. They wanted a law that would require that the votes would be counted ahead of time so that the bulk of the votes would already be counted going into Election Day. Now, they do have rules where your vote just has to be postmarked. So that means that some actual votes won't be received until after, but as long as they're postmarked, they're still valid to be counted, right?
Right.
The challenge is that the Republican controlled legislature said, no, we're not going to even start counting these votes until after Election Day, which plays into this narrative where someone can claim victory if you are expecting a larger turnout of your constituency on Election Day, and then claim that there is something wrong if your lead is somehow evaporated when those those other votes are counted that were just submitted by a different methodology.
Ladies, the bad news is that we are out of time, but the good news is we're going to still be counting votes tomorrow. So maybe we'll just have to bring you both back.
That's
Great
true.
to have you both with us today. Thanks so much.
Okay, have a good day.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.